Hi you guys, happy Friday. If you did not watch yesterday's video, please make sure that you do that first. Okay, make sure that you're always keeping track of what you should be doing in this class on a daily basis. And so for today, you are going to be finishing up your ALEKS assignment. Yesterday you were supposed to do questions 1 through 9 of the surface area ALEKS assignment, and then today I want you to do questions 10 through 18 of that assignment. So we're going to go ahead and click through this assignment, and I'm going to help you with a few things. There were a couple that I didn't go over yesterday, so I'm going to go over those today. Question number 10 says a rectangular prism and its net are shown below. Find the following side lengths for the net. I gave you an example of how to do this one on yesterday's video. The second question, the solid is made from 1-inch cubes. Find its surface area. For this one, recognize that this is a rectangular prism, and so you're going to have to find the surface area of the top and bottom, the surface area of the front and back, and the surface area of the two sides. Add all of those together, and that'll give you the surface area of the object. Number 12 is a triangular prism. So remember, a triangular prism is made up of a base, two triangle sides, a back, and a slanted top. And you need to find the area of all of those faces, add them together, and that will give you your surface area. Question number 14 is another one of those problems where there is a combined shape. And after I made my video yesterday and published it, I realized on question number 9, I forgot an important piece of that. And that was, we found the surface area of this shape, right? But we didn't find the surface area of the other shape. And also part of the surface area of the pink shape is being covered up. Like, we can't pull the shapes apart. So I apologize for that. But let me go ahead and help you with this problem right now, and then I'll help you with a couple of others that are just like that. So when we find the surface area for the yellow, okay, we can see that the front and back, this is a 2 by 2, okay? So the surface area for the front and back of the yellow is 4. Okay, so that is for the front and back. And then when we look at the top and bottom here, in this case, the bottom is not showing because it's on top of the other shape. So the only piece that is showing is the top piece, okay? And it's a 2 by 1 rectangle. So 2 times 1 is 2, and that's for the top, okay? Then we also have the two sides, and the two sides in this case are a 1 by 2 rectangle, and there's 2 of those. So 1 times 2 is 2, and then times that by 2, and that's going to be 4. Okay, so that's for the two sides. Now when we add 4 plus 2 plus 4 together, that gives us 10. Okay, 10 inches squared. Okay, now this gets just a little bit tricky. But when we look at these two shapes right here that are put together, this part right here, okay, where this is on top of the other part, that area is not actually surface area, okay? So that's a 1 by 2 rectangle that we're going to have to subtract out. So we're going to add 40 inches squared with 10 inches squared, and we end up getting 50 inches squared on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at another one of those. Let's look at number 14. We can see that this is made up of a rectangular prism, and then another rectangular prism is stacked on top of that. And so we're going to find the surface area of the, let's do the bottom one first, okay? So the surface area of this one, when we find the bottom here, this is a 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 4 by 5. Okay, so that is the bottom. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, now the top of this one is a 4 by 4. That's the only part that's showing. Okay, so when we do this particular type of question, remember the surface area is the area of the surface, the part that is showing. Okay, so in this case, our top would be 4 by 4, which is 16. Okay, now as far as our front and back go of the bottom rectangular prism, and then if our front is 8, our back is also 8. Okay, so our front and back are going to be 16. Okay, and then our two sides, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2. We have a 5 by 2, which is 10. And there's 2 of those. So for the sides, it's going to be 20. Okay, now let's look at our other shape. Okay, it's another rectangular prism. And for the bottom's not showing here because it's been stacked. Okay, but for our top, we have a 1 by 4. So that area is going to be 4. Then we have our front here, which is a 4 by 2, and that's 8. And then for our back, it's going to be another 8. And then we have our two sides. Okay, so we have a 1 by 2, which is 2. And there's 2 of those, so 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so 8 plus 8 is 16. And then we have 4. And now we're just going to add all of these numbers together, and that will give us our surface area. And that would be 96 centimeters squared. Okay. Next question, 15. Now there are just a few word problems on this assignment, so let's go ahead and go through this together. And I think after I do a couple of them for you, you'll be able to do the third. So a company made a storage container with sheet steel walls. The container was in the shape of a rectangular prism as shown below. Suppose the total cost of the sheet steel was $4,484. How much did the sheet steel cost per square meter? Okay, so in order to do this, the question we are being asked is how much did the sheet steel cost per square meter? Okay, and this is the total cost. And so what we need to do is we need to figure out the total surface area. And then if we take the total cost and we divide it by the surface area, that will tell us how much the sheet steel cost per meter. Okay, so in order to find the surface area of this rectangular prism, we have a top and bottom. We have a front and back, and we have our two sides. Okay, so here we go. Top and bottom. We know that the bottom is a 7 by 5. So that would be 35. And there's 2 of those, a top and a bottom. And then we have a front and back. We can see that our front is 7 by 2, okay, because this is the height right here, right? So 7 by 2, which is 14, and there's 2 of those. And then our two sides, we have a 5 by 2, okay? So that's our area of our side. 5 times 2 is 10. There's 2 of those. So 35 plus 35 is 70. 14 plus 14 is 28. 10 plus 10 is 20. So for total surface area, it is 118 meters squared. So this is the total surface area. This is the total cost of the sheet steel. So if we want to know how much the sheet steel costs per meter, we're going to have to take the $4,484, divide it by the 118, which is our total, and that'll tell us the cost per meter, which gives us $38 per meter squared. Okay, question number 16 is another one of those problems where you have the where you're finding the surface area of a combined shape where you have two rectangular prisms. 17, Dale builds large wooden storage boxes. The boxes are shaped like rectangular prisms as shown below. He covers each side of the box with special wallpaper. If he makes 8 of these boxes, how many square feet of wallpaper does he need? Okay, so question we're answering is, how many square feet of wallpaper will he need? Okay, and he's making 8 of the boxes. So if we can figure out what the surface area is of one box, we can multiply by 8, and that will tell us how much wallpaper he needs for all 8 boxes. Okay, we've got a rectangular prism here again. So we're going to do the top and bottom. We're going to do the front and back. And then we're going to do the 2 sides. Okay, so for the top and bottom, the area of the bottom is 6 times 5, which is 30, and there's also a top. So that's going to be 30 plus 30. For the front, okay, for the front we have a 6 by 4. 6 by 4. Okay, so that's going to be 24. For the back, it will also be 24. And then for the 2 sides, okay, when we look at our 2 sides, they are 5 by 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. There's 2 of those, 20 plus 20. So this would be 60, 48, and 40. So that gives us 148 feet squared. Okay, so he covers each side of each box with special wallpaper. If he makes 8 of these, how many square feet of wallpaper will he need? So to figure that out, you have to take the 148, multiply by 8. And that is going to be 1,184 feet squared. That's how many square feet of wallpaper he'll need. Okay, last question. A company makes storage containers with sheet steel walls. The containers are shaped like rectangular prisms as shown below. If the company has a total of 1,134 meters squared of sheet steel available, how many storage containers can be made? So we want to know what the surface area of one container is. And then if this is the total amount of sheet steel available, to figure out how many storage containers can be made, we're going to have to use division. Okay, so our first job is to find the surface area of this rectangular prism. And then once you've done that, you're going to take the 1,134 and you are going to divide by that surface area, and that'll tell you how many storage containers can be made. Okay, you guys, so for today, I want you to finish your ALEKS assignment. You're doing 10 through 18. Remember that if you're having any questions, feel free to email me. I'm super happy to help you with any of the ones that you're not understanding, or I can meet up with you in a Google Meet as well. Just let me know what you need help with.